Wasn't sure if I heard of this show, but just recently I saw another YouTuber make a video talking about this show. A particular couple. Um, the YouTuber is called Megan Moon. Her name is Megan Moon. I think she's really funny and she does a lot of talking about like Korea shows and like what kind of goes on in Korea because she lives there with her husband. And she recently made a show about this, how she was invited or offered an invite for her and her husband to be on the show. But then she talked about a particular couple that was just horrible. The husband in particular, horrible. So I'm assuming that's what Stephanie's about to talk about. The Korean divorce show brings worst couples to decide if they should divorce, and it's a mess. It was very messy. The video that Megan Moon was talking about, I was like, wow. Then they have like three, I don't know if they're celebrities in particular, but they like listen to both sides of the couple's stories of like the problems that they have, and then they kind of like give their 2 cents in if it's gonna like work out or not. And then I don't even know, they decide if they want to divorce or not. But I just heard that one case of that horrible husband. I'm sure Stephanie's gonna give some examples as well. So let's just see.
Don't look at them. Don't look at them. He said, honey, you look so beautiful in a kitchen curtain. I said, that is actually the best compliment. Get your trousers. Get your little belts. Get those cufflinks. We're going to court, baby. We're going to divorce court. Not us. He's looking at me like, what is happening? Okay. Do you ever think about what happens inside a family court? You walk in, there's a couple getting divorced. They've got their attorneys. They're screaming at each other. And you just know that these family attorneys, first of all, they've seen like the worst of the worst in humanity. That's what they say. They say they've seen the most deprived as divorce attorneys.
Are those
I thought it was going to freeze.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, family court is private.
Oh, okay.
And this Korean TV show has been blowing up recently because it's basically that divorce court. This Korean TV show has been going viral recently because this is basically divorce court, but televised for the entire nation, for all of the netizens to give their input on this person's relationship, which I can imagine is so insane. And it just progressively gets worse and worse. And this is all Koreans can talk about. Our Korean researchers were like, if you have not seen this episode of this show called Divorce Camp, I don't know what you're doing, because this is the most insane thing that we have ever, like, our mouths were agape the whole time.
So it's a Korean court with a divorce couple?
It's Korean divorce camp. The way they set it up is a married couple walk into a courtroom-like setting. It's not real court, but it's a courtroom-like setting. They sit on opposite sides. And instead of attorneys, you have like 5 different hosts that are sitting there. And husband brings the evidence, wife brings the evidence. Who wanted to get divorced first? They get to say their piece, and then in the pews, you know, because you got the whole people can come and watch the court. Those are previous couples that were on episodes previously, and it's like bitch, the two of you yesterday were just screaming at each other.
I know, I did know about that. I'll link that video down below because she did bring that up. Also, they were watching and they were judging as well. But you guys have your own problems as well, so it's like, I mean, some of the couples here are much crazier than others. Speaking of pews and courts, I know a verdict came up about the whole Diddy case. I didn't get super into the articles, but I'll get to those cases at some point soon because I know a lot of people are not happy, which makes me not happy and kind of hesitant to watch this video.
And then today they're sitting and watching this new couple going...
We could never.
That could never be us. We're absolutely perfect.
This is wild.
It's so wild. Even the theory, the concept, everything about this. Someone had to have just been like, who harmed you to create this show? Who hurt you?
I think these like reality shows.
Me.
Are so good. And the craziest thing is, you know, divorce has been on the rise in Korea, and people are trying to normalize divorce, which I think is a good thing everywhere. Divorce is not necessarily the worst thing in the world, especially if you're in like a toxic or even like an abusive relationship.
See, exactly. I totally get, you know, sometimes you get shunned upon by the public if you get a divorce, but who are you really trying to live for? Okay. Like, if you're being abused verbally, mentally, emotionally, physically, get the hell out of there. I met too many couples, way too many couples that are so miserable because of the relationship that they are stuck in. I mean, they could also be stuck in it.
Just to clarify, I'm not judging anyone who stays in a difficult relationship. I know it is incredibly complicated. There are emotional, financial, cultural, and even spiritual barriers that can make it feel impossible.
Gives a fuck. You hate your life? You hate your partner? Bro, start living life for yourself.
Obviously
Get
divorce,
out.
right? But my sister was saying it is kind of sick and twisted. Like initially it feels like the shows are here to make everyone normalize divorce, feel more comfortable with the idea of divorce, let it be better for toxic couples to break up. But then it also somehow became, you just start feeling good about yourself after watching these shows, because my mom be watching these shows nonstop and I'm like, mother, you're divorced, okay? You've been divorced, and we keep telling you to find a boyfriend. You hate daddy. We know this, right? And she'll say, no, this helps me realize I made the right decision. And we'll just be having the conversations in front of my dad because they still hang out. And I'm like, okay, this is wacky. You guys are wacky.
So at the end of each episode, is there like a verdict? Like, oh, you guys should divorce or you guys should work it out? Is that how it goes?
It's a series. So this first part is going to be divorce court. And then at the end, they will give you a verdict of we don't think this is possible anymore. Or they will say, you're going to go to divorce camp. And it's like a reality show of divorce camp where they go, they talk to marriage counselors and they have to figure out their lives.
To save it.
Yes.
Damn.
Welcome to part 1. We have Mimi and Bobo.
Shut up.
Okay, this is a different couple.
That's my names for them, okay? Mimi and Bobo, the married couple. They're middle-aged. The producers welcome them into the courtroom. Welcome, welcome. Please take a seat. Mimi looks like, Mimi looks kind of strong. She doesn't really necessarily look like a church ajumma. She doesn't look like a 시장 ajumma either, which is like at the market ajumma. She kind of reminds me of like your aunt's friend who is very aggressive and you feel really weird. Like you're trying so hard to be polite to this elderly woman, but then she'll just hit you with the, why are you eating so much? And then you're like, okay, you know what, lady? Did I go and list 20 of your flaws? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you
I could
say
read you down right now. You want to start with me? I'll read you down right now. I'm minding my own business and you want to start some shit? I'm not taking that. I will bite that.
just now? Like, that's really rude.
How old is she?
That's the vibe. She's giving like 60.
Damn.
Okay.
When you say middle-aged.
She's giving like 50.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we got Bobo. Bobo is the husband, and he looks like he's probably in his 50s, but he looks like an 80-year-old ajashi from church. He looks like a church ajashi. Yeah, you just know that he walks a little slower, and then he sits down, and then you're talking to him, you're having a conversation, and you're like, I don't know if he is
listening.
like, I don't know if he can hear me. And you just keep, and then they're just like, oh, 그래, 알았어, 그러네. 뭐라고? And then you're like, oh my God, I want to eject myself from this situation because what am I doing with this couple? So they walk into the courtroom, business casual. I mean, truly, they look like a normal couple. And the wife sits down and she begins. I just keep getting traumatized. Is there any reason I should keep protecting this man and our family?
Why are you traumatized?
And the husband says no. Bobo says this is not the problem. Seeing the show that is our home every single day, I mean, I really just want to leave immediately and go live by myself. I can't do this anymore. And they both bring video evidence tapes. I don't know if this is divorce court.
They bring
I
video
don't know
evidence.
if this is like a fucking criminal case because the way that they're bringing in evidence tapes, I'm
like a
I
diary.
feel like I'm watching CSI Miami,
Roll the
CSI
tape.
Soul. Yeah, they said roll the tapes bit. We get a glimpse of the wife's tape.
Evidence file 001.
Yes.
It's like so invasive of like their personal space and lives and everything. Obviously, they're like coming on the show, volunteering and like giving this video evidence, but at the same time, it's like I feel like I shouldn't be watching this. It's so weird, but at the same time, it's like it's so weird but so messy. I can't stop watching this.
We see the husband laying in bed, and she slowly sneaks up behind him. And then she reaches up, covers his nose. And I'm like, oh my God, she's about to try to kill him right now. She's about to strangle him. She just puts her finger under his nose and she tells the court, I have to put my hand on my husband's nose like this to check if he might be dead, because he could be dead at any point in this given time.
That's crazy. Why would you think that?
What does that mean? I'm sorry. What does that mean?
Right?
We don't know.
Oh, okay.
So then the producers, they're already getting into it. The producers are like,
acting as if
husband,
you're not
please
the
can you
same
explain
age.
yourself? And he says, I do drink 24 hours a day. I do, yeah.
Okay, I see.
We're not laughing, but we are laughing because his response is fucking crazy. I will say drinking is a huge problem in Korea. I think alcoholism is a huge problem anywhere, but in Korea specifically, I can only speak on like the Korean culture aspect that I know of. I would say a lot of Koreans I know may deal and like struggle with a drinking problem because it's
Coming from a Mexican family, I've seen a lot of, mainly the men in my family, I've seen majority of them throughout my life drink more beer than water. Like, I'm not even being dramatic or anything. I legit see them open more cans of beers. I hear them from across the room. Like, I hear the beer and I see them drink beer more than water. I'm like, I've not seen you get like a glass of water for yourself. Like, what's the deal?
very normalized
You just run
in Korea.
on beer.
So it's not actually seen and handled like alcoholism is handled even in the US, which I don't even think is great. Like the way that people push alcoholic beverages on anyone that is of a drinking age. They're like, come on, just drink. You're having fun. Let's drink. And it's like, I just don't really want to. Like, you don't have to make me
I don't
drink.
give into
I'm
the
fun
pressure.
either way. Okay.
Thank you.
That's really rude that you think I'm boring. But in Korea, it's like pretty intense. And it's very normalized to see ajashis like passed out on the street. You'll be in like a bar type area, and after work, like 3 a.m., you'll see an ajashi laying on the sidewalk. And then the police are like, ajashi, go home to your wife. Like, that's how they treat it. So if the tone in this entire episode of this reality show is conveyed a little lightly, that's probably why. So now there's a video clip of him setting up a table in his bedroom, sitting on the floor, drinking soju.
Oh.
And back in divorce court, he looks a little drunk. Yeah, he does. And he looks like he's over this already.
He's in divorce court. He's drunk.
Yeah, he looks a little drunk. Okay, he looks like he's over all of this. And the husband is trying to explain to the divorce court attorneys, the producers, it's not even just that. It's not my drinking problem that's the problem. She blames it all on me. The real problem is there's strangers living in our house. There's a strange girl just living in our fucking house.
Excuse
and then we see
me?
another clip, and this is just giving us an idea of what we're about to head into. We see this sleep paralysis demon girl just scurry out of the bedroom in the middle of the night.
A daughter
Into
or
the kitchen.
someone?
And you're like, who the fuck is that? What the hell is going on? Divorce court is in session. Tung, tung. This is how we begin. So the producers, they've got their files in front of them and they say, let's get serious. Let's get down to business. We've been through 25 different couples this past season. We need to get a move on it. How long have you two been married? The wife says 7 years. Oh, okay. So this is not your first marriage. Are you both remarried? Bobo's like, no, my wife is my first marriage, but I'm her second marriage. And who here is filing for the divorce? Mimi raises her hand. She's so eager. She's like a little student in class. She's like, me? I want to divorce this bitch. That's me. It's not easy, Mimi, I'm sure, making this decision, especially since it's your second marriage, because, one divorce is already stigmatized too. It's like the double whammy. So, like, tell us, why do you want to get a divorce so bad? Like, what is it? And she's struggling to come up with the word. So he says, you know what? Don't even tell us. Roll the tape. Play the evidence. Evidence 1 from the wife's perspective. So this is everything that she has detailed. It's a vlog. They have set up cameras all up in the house. This is what the show does. So they show you like a week in their life, and the wife gets to pull all the instances where she's like, see, he always does this. He always does this. He always does this. And then compile.
So far, I'm just going to say, I know they both definitely have problems for sure. But so far, it's just sounding like maybe the wife is more of a bigger problem maybe from what I'm getting thus far, she's very eager and has taking a lot of initiatives. But let's
Boil
see.
it down into a 10-minute incriminating vlog of like the relationship's worst parts.
Damn.
I know.
Wow.
And I was trying to think, like, what would we include in our tapes?
Like
Yeah.
you have no choice, right?
Yeah.
The camera's just rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'll be on my best behavior, right? I'll be like,
What would you include on my tape?
oh, like we
Yeah.
choose and
She's
pick.
choosing.
That's
I don't know. Did you
crazy.
catch that fart?
Okay, that is
That was a stinky
He's
one.
trying to kill
see the
me
green
with his
cloud?
farts.
Well, she goes on and she says, this is my compilation. It's a snowy morning, 8 in the morning. Husband Bobo wakes up first in the bedroom. They don't even sleep together. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, I do think that separate sleeping is good if
Yeah.
that's what the couple likes.
A lot of
Like, I know
couples do
couples
that.
that genuinely have sleep problems or they have different sleep schedules. They like to sleep separately or just to have their own space. They feel like they bond better.
Right.
But that doesn't seem to be the case for this one. Like, they look like they just can't stand each other. He wakes up alone in the bedroom. Meanwhile, Mimi is sleeping in the living room in front of the TV on a mattress on the floor, and they sleep separately. He wakes up. The first thing he does is turn the lights on in the living room. He walks outside, living room, turns on the
damn.
lights.
Ugh.
Wife wakes up from the mattress like, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? I think that is the worst way. Like, I think that's a way to ruin the marriage. Number one is to wake each other up by turning on all the lights.
Rude
like,
awakening.
that is crazy. My mom used to do that to me. Crazy. Crazy. Especially the overhead lights. Like a lamp, I think that's really sweet and soft. Like a faraway lamp, you know? Overhead lights is insane. Like, I must have told you, you must wake me up in order for that to happen. Anyway, he turns it all on. She gets up looking at him, hair all crazy. She's looking at him like, what the fuck was that about? He immediately reaches into the fridge, grabs something, walks back into the bedroom, does not turn off the lights in the living room. I can see why this is in the evidence tapes. He sits down on his little floor table.
Is that a regular occurrence? Because unless she decided she wanted to sleep in the living room on the floor, I would say if that's like a regular occurrence, hey, you sleep in the living room where you can get up and go to the fridge back and forth however many times you want. You can turn on the lights. It's not going to affect me because I'm in the room. Dark room.
Pours himself a big cup of soju.
No way.
Yeah, and the
He wakes
producer.
himself up by a cup of soju.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
crazy.
And a lot of people, okay, a lot of Korean netizens were saying this is actually waking me up to the fact that I have an alcohol problem.
Damn.
Oh, that's when they realized.
That
A
they
lot
have
of
an
people
alcohol
don't
problem. Again, because it's so
realize.
normalized.
It's so
like, even
normalized,
when the
yeah.
producers are watching this, they're like, oh, he's drinking soju like water. So he drinks a whole cup of soju first thing in the morning. Then he hops back in bed and he lays down and he starts looking on his phone. And you know what this pose has? This is the pose my mom tells every man not to do. This is the pose, okay? She told us this as kids. She
Okay.
says, when there are chores to be done in the house,
Uh-huh.
you don't lay on your back. Okay? You never, she
What?
said, when there is chores in the house and a man is on the couch on his back, divorce, babes.
Oh, like you're just like plopping onto the couch or on the bed.
It's the body language of someone who's done all their chores. And then you're like, but we got stuff to do in the house, so I don't know what energy that is. He's fully on his back.
Oh
Not
my
only that,
God.
he's got one leg, one knee up.
It gives such like teenager energy when they come back from school or whatever, and they're just like laying on their bed on their phone like that with their foot up. Sir.
Okay? And then the other leg is crossed on his knee like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know? So he really looks like the bills are paid, the dishes are washed, the trash has been taken out, which is fine, but those better be done. is what my mom would say. Okay, that's how my mom said. When there's chores, you don't lay on your back. So that's what he's doing.
Your mom is saying like it's you. If you want to sit down, make sure you sit with your back straight.
Or
on the
like
couch.
finish all the chores and then you lay down.
I see.
You know what I mean?
That makes
or
sense.
like she's saying like the worst is when you see couples and the wife is like very busy cleaning and then the man is laying down, like all the bills are paid, the chores are done.
Ew.
When it's like, what's going on? Your wife is over there doing that right now. Get up. Get up. Okay. So then he gets up 20 minutes later. It's like he heard my mom. But then he goes to just pour himself another glass of soju. And he does this every few hours from beginning of the morning to the end of the morning. He's unemployed. He's unemployed.
Okay.
Okay. Now the wife, she wakes up in the morning and she's looking around. First thing my husband does, wake up, drink. Middle of the day, wake up, drink. Nighttime, wake up, drink. That's it. Now, they pause the evidence tapes. Back in divorce court, the producers are saying, are you telling me that your husband maintains a 24-hour blood alcohol level? Like, this is fucking crazy. Like, is that what you're telling us right now? Like, this is fascinating. They say it's fascinating how much he drinks. And then they even go to see all of his drink stash. They have like a second fridge for all of his soju. He just drinks all day long. He drinks it like water. So now people are getting confused. Back to the evidence tapes. In the middle of the day when he's passed out on the bed, she'll sneak up behind him.
Oh, to see if she's okay.
She'll just whack him on the head. No, I'm just kidding. She'll just put her hand in front of his mouth to make sure that he's still breathing.
Oh, right, like the beginning.
He's been
like, put it
taken
on,
to
over
the
his
hospital
nose.
twice because of his alcoholism. So it's getting very serious and he's not doing anything about it. And this is actually quite a serious part of the segment. I think they take it seriously, not as seriously as I wish they would take it, but maybe they're not trying to alienate him during the conversation. I don't know, right? But he went through a day where he drank, I think it was 10 bottles of soju within hours. That's about 7 bottles of wine, 34 beers, or just straight up like 30 shots of vodka in terms of like alcohol volume.
Wow.
So he said that day my stomach hurt so badly, my wife had to drag me to the hospital. They're in the ICU. People are telling him, your life is in danger. You could die. And he says, yeah, I'm going to quit drinking. I'm going to quit drinking. But now in front of the producers, he says, I don't really think I have a problem. Like I can control my drinking. It's just that I like it. So it's not that big of a problem. And they're like, oh no.
You're in the hospital right now. It seems like a pretty big problem. I know I said in the beginning, and while we haven't gotten to the wife's part yet, obviously it's a problem on both ends. But I kind of commented that I feel like maybe it'll be a bit more of a wife issue. Like she's a bit more of an issue. It's not sounding like that so far. What I'm getting at is that you are a mother to this full-grown, he's an elder now, this elder man, all right? Like I'm assuming she's working, he's freeloading off of you. It's all wrong.
Oh, this man is in denial right now. Now, back to the tapes, we see Mimi stressing out that her husband is literally killing himself by drinking, and she's getting very stressed out about this. But then you see in the next clip that she's taking him to the grocery store to buy him
soju.
boxes and boxes of soju.
So she's enabling
we're like,
him.
why the fuck are you buying him the soju if he's gonna die from the soju? And like,
it reminds me of My 600-Pound Life. Have you guys seen those episodes or that series? It's like you have family members that are so worried about their child or their loved one, whoever the case may be. But then at the same time, in another clip, they're like driving them up to McDonald's. They're like buying them the most fatty, saltiest, most horrible things for them. It's like, okay, well, you're not really helping much of that problem. So you're concerned, but you're still enabling this type of behavior. You're literally bringing them to the source.
What is your deal? And she tells the producers, he's just really fucking annoying when he's not drunk.
Oh my God.
Like, what the hell is going on? In divorce court, they pause the tape, and the producers are looking at this couple because already this is messier than they could have ever expected. I mean, all the other couples that they've dealt with previously, it's like my husband sits on his ass and won't do the chores. And then they're like fighting and arguing. And this is like They keep saying, I don't think you guys are planning a divorce. I think you guys are planning a funeral. Like, what is happening right now? Like, he's dying. You're enabling the dying. What are you guys doing right now? And so they ask, who is the one that wanted the divorce? Mimi says, I am the one that initiated this process. I am the one that wants a divorce. Bobo tells the producers, I think I want a divorce maybe 50%. Mimi stares him down.
What does that
장난해?
mean?
Which is like, are you fucking kidding me? Right? It's very aggressive.
She's offended.
If I hear those words come out of someone's mouth, the translation is, are you joking me? But it's truly like, hey, I'm 2 seconds away from whipping your ass.
How do you say that again?
Like, yeah, 장난해?
장난해?
Yeah, which is like,
Yeah.
is like very aggressive you.
Yeah.
장난해 is like, are you playing? But it's very, like, you only say that
I get
when
the
you're
vibe.
ready
I get it.
to commit a felony assault.
Yeah.
You don't say that
Okay.
for no reason,
Okay.
you know? Like, I
I
don't
don't
even
know
think...
who I'm gonna say that to, but I'm gonna
Saving
You
it
stored
in his
it in your
memory
brain.
I'm
log.
gonna save it for a situation.
And so she's like, I am so dumbfounded. I mean, I'm wondering if my husband is in his right mind. I have truly never done anything wrong. This guy is fucking crazy. I want a divorce because he wants to drink himself to death. I've done nothing. And the husband starts arguing over the table. No, there are other problems inside of our house other than the alcohol.
All right, let's talk
So
about
the
it.
producers are like, what are the
Let's
problems?
unpackage it.
And they roll the tape. And they say, wait, what is that? What is that what we're watching right now? So because
She
it's like
cheating?
CCTV footage of their living room, we see a time where neither of them are in the living room. Both Mimi and Bobo are not there. And then another door opens from the other side of the house. Like, we've never seen this door before. And out
Oh,
walks
the random lady.
this girl with long hair. Her face is blurred in the camera. And she's wearing a floor-length pajama, like those velvet Christmas pajama dresses. It's more like a towel blanket than it is a pajama.
Like what you're wearing.
Be a daughter from her
but
previous
like
marriage,
velvet
no?
and to the floor. Okay.
What color is it? White?
No, it's like a dark purple with little cute stuff on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so she's walking out and she looks like she's sneaking around. And the producers are like, what the fuck is this? Who is this person? Why did she just crawl out? It's like a
long hair.
cockroach. Like, you know, would they wait until the lights are off to crawl out? That's what this reminds them of. So they're confused what's going on. And Bobo informs them. Her son, Mimi's son, you know?
Bobo say her son?
Yeah, Mimi's son, because they've only been married for 7 years. This is not his son.
Oh.
Mimi's
Child from previous
son
marriage.
lives with us. But not only that, he has invited this strange girl, his girlfriend, to come live with us. And she is now crawling out of the woodworks to find something to eat, to find something to snack on. And
Oh my
Mimi starts
God.
smiling and she's explaining to the producers, okay, my son is like 30, he's 31. But the reason that he's living with us is because, 3 years ago, COVID hit and, you know,
Okay.
everything started kind of going to shit and we thought he could move in with us and it was not that bad
3
of a
years
deal.
ago.
So they're asking, okay, so is the husband working? Is Bobo working? No, Bobo's not working. When COVID hit, a lot of stuff happened and then he became ill. So he couldn't work in construction anywhere. And we live mainly off of the expenses with my father's inheritance. My father passed away in 2019 and we're just living off that inheritance.
Oh, Mimi doesn't work. Bobo doesn't work.
Yeah. So they're like, Mimi doesn't work. Bobo doesn't work. Do the kids work? No. So then we get
Y'all
another clip of
are-
the evidence tape. The little cockroach goes back into sleep. And
In a
then we see the
huge shit
husband come
show.
out and Mimi's back on the mattress. And he's like, can I get manon? It's like, can I get $10?
Wait, who's asking?
Bobo's asking Mimi, can I get $10?
Damn.
And he's just standing there like a 5-year-old kid who's like asking his mom in a very
Right?
just annoyed way, like, I want to go to the store. I want to buy that
the
action
energy.
figure that nobody else is buying. Can you fucking buy me that action figure? And so then she goes to her wallet and she's
Oh my
groaning as she's
God.
going through her wallet. And this literally is like what we're going to be doing in 3 years with Sophie and Mia. Like, I can just see it right now. They're going to be like, Momo, Panda, give me $10. And then we're going to be like, it's the energy of like when a child is asking you for money, but this is her husband. This is our husband, okay? So then she gives it to him. He goes to the convenience store and buys alcohol. He comes back and just keeps drinking. And Mimi is explaining to the producer, stop the tape. Okay, the reason that I let him drink is because he won't eat anything. The only time he eats is when he's drinking. And the only thing he eats, even when he's drinking, is like a piece of dumpling, one tangerine, a slice of like meat. That's it. That's all he'll eat all day. It's like the drink is his main dish. It's his soju. If he's not drinking, he won't eat anything. And so I feel like if I deprive him of drinking, then he's gonna die because he's not gonna eat. So I'm really stressed out today.
He's die regardless because he's drinking too much. Okay. Either way, all of y'all are screwed. Like I already knew it was gonna happen this way. It just new things just keep on packaging. It just keeps getting worse and worse.
Producers are looking at him like, you can't do that. You can't do that. Like, this is very serious. This is your life on the line right now. So Mimi is trying to excuse herself. The only reason that I buy boxes upon boxes upon boxes upon boxes upon boxes upon boxes of soju is because I'm just trying to get him to eat. And they're all kind of looking at her like, but we're not going to go there
are
yet.
we saying like she doesn't see the true issue here? She doesn't think drinking is that big of an issue, or?
No, it's like he clearly doesn't see the issue, right? Which a lot of people that are struggling with certain addictions don't see the issue.
Right.
But it's the fact that she complains about it nonstop. Not that complaining is bad. I don't think she should be complaining. I think she should be assisting him. But it's the fact that she's enabling him, but then giving herself a holier than thou excuse. If you actually cared about your husband, you would not do that.
Right.
So the producers are kind of like, I don't know. We're going to hold off our judgment until the husband's tapes, but it's just a little bit odd. Like, it's an inkling of a little bit of doubt has been sowed in the producer's mind. Because when she walked up in here so full of confidence, it felt like maybe the husband is just in the wrong. And maybe he's the type to be like, she just keeps nagging me and she's just so annoying. That's the vibe the producers get. And she's trying to explain to them, it's been very hard to me mentally. You know, after my father passed away, I developed depression, panic disorder. So I take about like 20 pills a day to recover from all of this. I need peace of mind and less stress. But because my husband drinks, I'm under more stress, which made me increase my medication. And it's just my anxiety is getting worse. I've talked to my husband about divorce several times. I even have the divorce papers ready to be filed at all times. I mean, I fight with him. I wake up, but then I feel sorry for him. Like, if I abandon him, where else is he gonna turn? He will be ruined. Like, I think he's gonna die at this rate. That's why we applied for this divorce camp, to save my husband's life. It's not even about me. It's not even about divorce. It's truly because I need to save his life and I need help with that. And so they're asking, so you still feel feelings for your husband? I mean, I guess it is strange that heaven has arranged for a wife like you to take care of a husband like him. The producers, they're crazy. They're messy for this, but they even point out, hey, you know this producer who looks super fit and handsome because he's like a celebrity, and you are the same age. They're like pointing at Bobo and one of the producers. They're like, Bobo the husband, you and this producer, he's like a talk show host, celebrity. You guys are the same age. Can you believe that?
But they look so vastly different.
Yeah, they're like, you look 80. He looks fit. He looks handsome. He looks like he maybe has a few cc's of Botox. But that's okay. That's besides the point.
Yeah.
You look messed up, buddy. They literally are telling them that to his face. They're like, you look 70. That's crazy. You look like look at the way you walk. You walk like you're 80. And I'm like, whoa, what's happening right now? The producers even ask one of the former couples that were just in their spot like 2 days ago. And they say, hey, Mrs. Lee, like, what about you? What would you do if your husband was like this? And Mrs. Lee says, you know, I think I would just look at him and say, I'm going to get more life insurance on you. You can die, but I'm going to get paid. And everyone is just like, okay, so they still have more work to do. Moving on. Let's not ask that one more questions, because that's going to show that our divorce camp is not going well. Okay. So back to the tapes we go. And it's just more clips of the husband drinking. And that's pretty much the end of the tape. And she just says, that's it. I'm here. We're planning a divorce, but also maybe a funeral because he's going to drink himself to death. And now it's the husband's rebuttal. It's his time to speak. And there's
Right,
almost
let's
someone on
see.
his side. So at this point, it's not like they have attorneys. It's not like they have someone rooting for them. But this one producer stands up and he says, can I just make a confession? For the first time ever, this man is like known for being like a relationship counselor. He's known for having a really wholesome marriage with his wife. He's like known for loving his wife. That's like the vibe. And like, please, I'll be watching this
Yes?
one. I'll be watching this one, okay? Because
What do you mean?
these Korean churchill bus, okay?
Oh, the one who's proclaimed to love his wife and is the marriage counselor. You know who else really loved his wife and was like super my wife, my wife, my wife, my child, my wife? You guys know the Try Guys, right? I don't even remember his name. I remember his stupid face. I don't remember his name though. That was crazy when it came
But
out.
then he was saying, this was the first time in
Watch
my
them.
entire life that I have ever snapped at my wife. And they're like, what? And he says, you know, can I just say something? Mimi does some shit that I hate more than anything in this world.
Wait, this.
Yet this random producer is telling Mimi
What?
this. And so Mimi is like smiling, like, what? I can't think of a single problem with me. And he's explaining
can already
that's the
pick out a
problem.
few.
You have such a crazy problem. This is a problem that I absolutely cannot stand. I was watching and reviewing the footage from both your side and your husband's side. And when I was watching your husband's footage of his evidence against you, I had to stop the clip multiple times to take a break. My wife kept asking me, like, are you okay? Why do you keep needing fresh air? And for the first time in our entire marriage, I snapped and I said, can you just please leave me alone for a second, please? I really did. And this made me question, how could I be angry at my wife? But this was the most frustrating thing that I've ever seen in the history of my life.
Oh.
He's like a celebrity, okay? And Mimi says, I've been such a huge fan of you for like 20 years. What do you mean? And she's
Well.
like, hee. She thinks nothing is wrong. And then another one of the producers is like, yeah, she was telling me outside that she's like, I love Taeyeon. He's so handsome, haha. Yeah, I even pay to watch his dramas that he's in. I'd pay money to watch those dramas. What did I do? What could I have possibly done?
So he's just giving like a little preview
Yes.
for what's about to come.
Yes.
Like plot twist, y'all.
Yes.
Get ready.
Yes. And like it does seem like he has a very healthy relationship with his wife. Like apparently they've been married for a really long time and like industry insiders are like, oh yeah, they're actually pretty cute. Yeah.
Okay.
So the fact that he was like,
Right.
can you just be quiet for a second and like leave me alone for a second? People are saying this is crazy. What could possibly make him talk to his wife like that? So they said, roll the tapes. But also the fact that Mimi cannot even guess her problem is also alarming.
Okay.
That is a problem. That's really
evidence
annoying in
video.
person,
We start
actually.
at 7:30 in the morning. Okay, the two couple, they wake up, Mimi and Bobo wake up, and they decide that they're going to the market together. And they're out at the market, and the whole house is empty. The lights are off in the living room. 10 minutes later, a side door opens. out of
Cockroach comes
nowhere.
out.
And the producers are like, ooh, this is feeling like a thriller. It's feeling like a mystery novel instead of what the fuck is going on, right? And
like when the tenants are still living in the attic.
with long hair, wearing pajamas, and then another man sneaks out, plops onto the couch on his
God.
stomach. He's got long hair about shoulder length, and it looks like what's going on? They don't really look like tenants. They look like cockroaches, just like crawling out of the woodworks.
Like Parasite.
Yes.
Like they
yes.
just
Oh my
climb
God.
out of the basement and then
Yes.
start acting like they own the house.
And then they're ready to cook some dinner and stuff.
Wait, so this guy, I'm assuming is the son, was not in mom's clip at all.
No, not at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And then they cut the scene. So they go back inside to their little rooms, and then it cuts. The next night, same thing happens. Door opens, little parasites crawl out. But this time, Mimi is sleeping on the living room mattress, and she gets up and she
Image.
goes,
Like,
"우리 아들, my son." And I had this whole thing Okay, we were at the dinner table the other day and we were coming up with theories, and we said specifically for Koreans, okay, I don't know about anybody else, okay? But this
Okay.
is my advice to anybody who is dating a Korean boy. If
All right, if you're dating a Korean, listen up.
if your boyfriend's mother calls your boyfriend 10 times, 10 times, they're like, hey, name, or hey, you, hey, bitch, hey, whatever the right? And like, whatever. They are addressing them by some sort of name or nickname 10 times. Count how many times they say, 우리 아들, which is my son. If that is the majority of the time, you fucking run. I'm telling you,
So
there's.
like what's a ratio that, you know, like more than 5 times?
I
Like
think
more than
that's
50%?
truly
bit
keep
excessive,
it under
yes.
one.
Yes,
Under
agreed.
Like, okay, it's another thing, obviously. Come on, don't be doing this with me. Don't be playing in the comments. Like, if they're saying like, oh, my son does this, and they're talking to somebody else, but when they address their son and they go, 우리 아들,
I agree with you. No, I agree. Maybe it depends, family and family. In any culture, perhaps. I don't really see it, okay? But I completely get what she's talking about. And she's getting really specific with it, but I think in a broader way to say it, it's just the moms that really baby their sons, like the boy mom dads. The boss girl, what? The boy moms, all right? You know the types that really just baby their sons, wait on them hand and foot, like you're doing too much. This is a 30-something-year-old man, and if you're still calling him like he's like 3 or something, it's a problem.
which is
Okay, translate to English.
my son, did you eat? But like, 우리 아들, there's something so annoying about it, okay? If they're talking to somebody else, it's
Also the
fine. Like, oh, my
tone.
son does this, or like, my son didn't eat today.
Yes.
That's fine. That's obviously the grammar that you use.
Of
But when they
course.
address their own son with 우리 아들, unless it's followed up by something stupid and sarcastic, no. Like, my parents will refer to me as 우리 딸, right? And they'll say like, our daughter is so smart, and they only say this when I'm doing something fucking dumb. Okay, so it's like very sarcastic. It's not meant to be taken as like, my daughter, right? It's like very sarcastic. It's not meant to be taken as like, my daughter.
Oh my God, it did blink. It did blink. I saw something in the corner of my eyes. I don't know if I was just seeing stuff, but it did blink. I had to go back and watch it. That was so trippy.
Right?
So be aware
Yes.
of mama's boy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. This
Mama's
is, and she goes,
voice.
우리 아들, 뭐해? What are you doing?
So her whole tone shifted from the way that she talks to her husband, right?
I don't even know who this Mimi is. It's like a different person.
No.
I've been watching her for the past 30 minutes. I don't know who this lady is. This is
No, to me, it's the tone, the high pitched tone, and the baby talk almost. Like, oh, my son, did you eat? Like, hey, son, did you eat? You know, maybe a couple times that. Stop. All right. He's grown. You don't need to keep reminding this grown ass man to fend for himself, like basic life things, you know, they have food in the house. You don't need to constantly be like, oh, my son, oh, my baby, like, did you eat? Like, stop. It's being super close, tight knit with your mom, as you know, that's what you would hope for. But it's another thing to be just fully like babied on. Like, I think it's weird in general, but I think it's also just adds to the weirdness, the strangeness, is that I didn't grow up witnessing this in my household and my family, other family members' household at all. So when I do see it from like other families, it's usually through videos and stuff. I'm just like, what is happening?
a new lady to me.
That's a
Yeah, and
grown ass
Bobo's
man.
sitting there. He's telling the producers. At first, I didn't even know she had a kid. Okay.
Wait.
Yeah.
What do you mean? How long?
We were dating for a while. And then later she was like, by the way, I have a kid. But I was already in love with her. So I ended up living with her. And then he moved in. And
Oh
then
my
Mimi's
God.
explaining, my son used to live by himself in Seoul. You know, he was working part-time. But during Lunar New Year, he came to celebrate. And the next day, my husband was hospitalized. He almost died in the hospital. Dumbass. And my son started living with us because he wanted to take care of me. And I was just having such a hard time. So my
He
son.
just never
yeah.
left.
And your son is 30, right? 30? They interviewed the son. The son has.
Wait, the son was there?
Yeah, the son's face is not
Oh.
blurred. He's in the interview
definitely
tapes.
looks like
he
his
has
mom.
shoulder length hair, and he's got the face of Uri Ader. He's got the face of it.
What?
I'm so sorry. And like, I love Korean men. Some of the men that I love the most in my life, my father, my brother-in-law, my cousins, like they're Korean men, right? But if they do some Uri Ader,
Yes.
I be telling them, you're acting like Uri Ader right now. Like you're acting crazy right now, and I need you to get a grip. You're 60. You're 60 years old. Okay, so
Stephanie's talking about her father.
yeah, I am. Okay. I'm like, my dad is acting like Uri Ader right now.
That's acting like my son right now.
Yeah, okay. So he explains, I'm 31 and I am Mimi's son and I live with Mimi. And now everyone's looking at the celebrity that said he snapped at his wife. And then he's like, no, let me explain. I'm not upset. Like, this is not making me upset because she married someone else and then brought her son from a previous marriage. Like, that's not why I'm upset. Just keep watching the tapes. So then Bobo's sitting in front of the camera and he's explaining. Then her son brought some weird ass girl into the house.
Weird ass girl.
Weird ass
Oh
girl.
my god. Car turned on across the street. That scared me.
And then she has a blurred face and she says, hi, I am the son's girlfriend and I'm 33 years old. My name is Beep. Yeah. Okay, so the girlfriend is 2 years older than the son and they both live with you, right? Is that what's going on? And the son is also in the camera and says, so my mom just told me, come live with your girlfriend, like your girlfriend too. And my girlfriend said I'd like that, so we agreed. Okay, this is a little weird, but still, it's not the biggest thing in the world. Keep rolling the tapes. The son says, it was actually perfect timing because it was also when I was quitting my job, so it just kind of worked out. And the girlfriend says, rather than us spending money on rent and other expenses, you just wanted to prepare for our future. So now we just save money. But do you guys work? No.
Exactly.
Then
How
you're
are you
not
saving money then?
There's no income to be saved.
Yeah. So then the producers are like, okay.
Oh, so the girl doesn't work either.
No.
There is a lack of brain cells here, and just hearing it, I'm losing brain cells.
So the producers
Wow.
are like, okay, I think I get it now. Like why Bobo might be upset when Mimi's full-grown son and the random ass girlfriend are living and mooching off of Mimi, right? But then also Bobo's not working. What's your explanation for that? Bobo explains in the most eloquent way possible, and I think we should all start using this right now. He
gonna be
says,
so
I'm not
dumb.
exactly economically active right now.
What does that mean? Like,
Economically active, aka unemployed.
okay.
Economically active is the craziest shit I've ever heard. It's better than in between opportunities. This is truly the best shit I've ever heard. It's like the fanciest way of saying I am unemployed.
So what do you do for a living?
I'm not particularly economically active right now. However, I am morally, emotionally, and mentally very active and fit.
Okay.
Which honestly sounds like the dream life. That should honestly be how life is, right? But Mimi is interviewed and the producers are asking, okay, well, what about you? So husband's not working. He's not economically active. Son's not working. Son's girlfriend is saving money by not working. What are you doing? I've never worked a day in my life before.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
what's happening? So nobody's working inside this house? There are 4 people living inside of this house and none of them work? Is that what I'm getting at? And Mimi explains, yeah, so right now we're just kind of living off of the inheritance that I got from my dad's passing.
Right now,
And how much
what about
inheritance did you
later?
receive? Did you receive a lot? Like, are you the next billionaire? Are you the next Tebar? Like, what's going
Right?
on? So we received about 200 million won,
Damn.
$138,000, which is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
But 4 people, and now the year is 2025. Maybe it was filmed in 2024. He passed away 2019, so many a years have passed.
Ooh.
So how much is left now? Oh, it's pretty much gone. We've spent almost all of it.
Whoa.
Whoa.
So you guys are just living without a care in the world. Did you guys see that shadow just pass by?
We've spent almost
back.
all of it.
Whoa.
Whoa. Okay, so that's still a lot of money, and I'm sure your dad left that for you to be comfortable, but because you had 4 people unemployed and living on it, it just dwindled down, right? I mean, this is like the movie, the producer is saying, this is kind of like the movie, and then he stops talking because he feels uncomfortable, and Mimi smiles and says, Parasite. And he says, you know what? I was kind of hesitant to say the movie title, but now that you said it yourself, yeah, it's exactly
so
like the
happy
movie
about it,
Parasite.
though?
Like your little son and girlfriend crawl out in the middle of the night to get food and do all these things. You don't think that that is Parasite? Anyway, roll the tape. So Mimi wakes up from the mattress. 우리 아들 배고파? 우리 아들 뭐 찾아?
What time is it right now? Like, is it morning,
Like 3
midnight?
in the morning, 4 in the morning.
So the mom is sleeping in the middle of the night, and the kids are just waking up, or they're just like having a midnight
They're
snack.
just waking up.
Oh my god.
Oh, they wake up at 3
Ew.
a.m.
Well, they wake up. Okay, so they stay up all night and sleep during the day. So maybe this is like lunchtime for them. And so she's like, oh, should I make you something later? And the son's girlfriend looks at her, the son's girlfriend, and says,
She
"Oma,
disrespectful.
can you make us some spicy stir-fried octopus?
Excuse me?
Spicy stir-fried octopus? Okay, I'll make it. Oma, are you gonna make sundubu again? Which is like soft tofu soup. Oh, 그래, I'll make you sundubu. But this time, can you make a lot more soup? Like last time, I barely had enough broth.
Nah, you got me
Okay,
fucked up.
알았어.
There's no
Are
way.
they
And
talking in that tone, really?
Yeah, and then they walk back into the room and close the door, and the producers are sitting in divorce court, just fucking baffled. They don't even know what this means anymore. What kind of sons? Could you imagine me talking to your mother like that? Be like, next time you cook for me, get me more soup, because that was crazy. Last time I didn't have enough soup.
It's
That's
dry as
crazy.
fuck.
Yeah.
You know
Mom.
what my mom does? This is honestly, I gotta learn from my mom. I don't know why I'm on a side tangent right now.
Bro, if I would never say something like this. If growing up, if it was like a little off, too salty or anything, I would just fucking eat it. Or I would find a way to adjust it, add more water to that shit. I don't know. Cause if I were to, I lived with my grandmother growing up. If I were to told her this, she'd be like, "Ay, pues entonces no comes. Ve traga tu padre." Like stuff like that. Fucking eat it then. Go fucking eat your dad then. Go eat your own foot or some shit. Don't be crying to me later if you're hungry, okay? You hungry throughout the night? Well, that's too fucking bad. You didn't eat. So there's a thing with some tough love that really goes a long way. This is crazy. It's not even like the son is saying this kind of stuff. It's his girlfriend. Who are you even?
But the other day, his parents brought over these dough-filled, like black sesame dough-filled stuff, right? And my mom takes a bite, and they're so good. I know my mom. My mom's obsessed with food. She loves eating. And she's looking like she wants to eat this every day for the next 2 weeks. And she just looks at me and she says, "This is so delicious. How come it's my first time in this life trying this?" AKA translate that to his parents so they bring this more often. This is the shit I like. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But it was smooth.
No,
It was smooth.
Oma's EQ was so high.
Yeah.
It was like the most hilarious, eloquent compliment. It was so good.
That was also like, I would
think
like
she
to
say
eat
something like, "How come this is the first time in my life trying such a delicacy?" or
Yes!
something like that. It was like, what are you saying right now? It's just deep fried, like tangyuan, like sugar balls, like what?
And then ever since then, every time they come over, they bring the sugar balls for my mom.
yeah.
And
That's
it's
how
the
it- that's
cutest
how you
thing
do
ever.
it.
But this is some crazy shit. She's like, last time wasn't enough broth. And like, this time I want this. And like, are you gonna make this again this time? It was crazy. The producers have to stop this. I know in a lot of maybe American culture, this is seen as very direct. But in Korean culture, this is kind of seen as like, if you were to see a cow with 5 heads coming out of its butthole.
Yeah.
Like, this is insane. You do
Nah,
not talk to your
I'm
mother-in-law like that. It's
not
just kind of
accepting
wild. I don't
that.
even talk to my
It's
own
weird.
mother like that.
Yeah.
Like, I would really have to be on some shit to talk to my mom like that. And so Mimi is explaining, yeah, I mean, my son often sleeps during the day and wakes up at night because of his really intense gaming schedule.
Oh my god!
Gaming
Unless he
schedule?
makes
So the
money,
producers are like, okay, I
off
guess
of
we're not
it.
even going to talk about the girlfriend right now, but
I don't want to
what
hear
do you
it.
mean gaming schedule? Roll the tape. They got a CCTV camera in the son's room.
No way.
He's playing the gaming, clicking the mouse, clicking the keyboard.
Is the girlfriend playing too?
No, the girlfriend is giving him shoulder massage,
No.
applying chapstick on his lip.
No.
He can't even apply.
You're fucking
no.
kidding me. Wait,
No.
the girlfriend doesn't play games?
No.
What?
I can't even tell you guys the chills I got that went down my arms when she said that and I saw that clip. That is so, I don't even know the word to use for it. Ridiculous isn't even close to it. Like,
She just takes care of him.
ew.
Oh, that is crazy.
I
That's
thought the girlfriend was
disgusting.
going to be a gamer too.
Yeah.
When it's two gamer couples, I can get it. I can get with it. I can also get with it if, like, I don't know. I've never dated a gamer before. Like, we game sometimes, mobile games, but it's always like together.
Yeah.
Like, we'll be gaming together. I don't know. I've never dated a gamer, so I don't know what, like, the criteria of, like, when they should be gaming, when they shouldn't be gaming. But, like, I would never be applying chapstick on a gamer. That's crazy. Like, you gotta be, I don't know, you gotta be, like, a faker level shit. You gotta be bringing in millions of dollars for someone to sit there and apply chapstick.
Like,
Yeah, that's crazy, no? Is that not insane?
Look, your lips can crack and bleed, all right? That is not my fucking problem, okay? If you have the inability to pause your game or like, if, I don't know what, in between your pauses, your breaks, you apply your own chapstick and keep yourself fucking hydrated, that's not my problem. If gaming for a hobby, that's cool. Who doesn't like gaming? It's fun. It's cool. It's a fun, relaxing time, whatever. Unless you're like earning so much money off of gaming and live streaming, that's a completely other thing. All right. But this is not this case.
yeah.
So sometimes they don't wake up until like 6 p.m. And Mimi, instead of getting upset at her 31-year-old unemployed gamer son, she's over here. Is our son hungry? 우리 아들 배고파? Is he gonna eat later? I only feel calm and at ease. My heart is only at ease when my son is eating. He doesn't eat all day. I get so anxious, and then I prepare what my son is gonna eat in the evening, but I don't know if he's gonna eat. Sometimes he doesn't want to eat. And the producers are looking at him like, what the fuck is going on right now? This is absolutely insane. She's waking up from her there's another clip that's in the husband's video, evidence video. In her sleep, she's talking, 우리 아들 밥 먹었어?
Oh, no.
Oh,
She's asking, my son, did you eat?
In her dreams?
Yeah. In her dream.
Is she really sleeping or is she
wild.
just trying to talk to him
Her
through this?
love for her son is so incredible. Bobo is sitting there in his confessional and he says, all I hear all fucking day is, our son, did you eat? Our son, aren't you hungry? Our son, our son, our son, our son. I can't do it anymore. Okay, I can't do it. And so the producers are saying, okay, from Bobo's perspective, I can see how he's upset. It's never about, hey, husband, are you hungry? It's always, 우리 son, our son, our son, our son, our son, our son. The husband walks out of the room and he sees spicy fried octopus prepared because that's what the couple asked for, right? He grabs himself a plate. Oh dear, you cut the octopus so small. 그럼 먹지 마. That means then don't eat it. Whoa. I mean, agreed. Like, don't be critiquing someone else's cooking if you're not the one cooking, right? But it's the fact that she just snaps on him. He did say it a little nicely, but again, still, don't be saying it. Just eat it, right? He squats down on the floor on a cushion and he starts eating. And the people, the producers are like, why do you have to eat so pitifully? Because, like, the posture in which he's eating is equivalent to him sitting on a toilet. Like, can you not sit differently? Can you not sit crisscross applesauce on the floor? Like, why? He starts taking a few bites. Oh, it's so bland. It's not bland. It's actually kind of salty. Okay, I was just saying, I think our taste buds are a little bit different. I mean, but regardless, you didn't make it for me to eat, did you? Of course not. Why would I make it for you to eat? It's fine. I'll just add a little bit of salt and pepper and heat it up. It's fine. Not a big deal. Then he goes back to his room and continues drinking. Mimi gets up, fixes her hair, walks into the son's room. He's gaming. 우리 아들, my son, should I steam some dumplings for you? Do you want some dumplings? You want some steamed dumplings? He barely responds yes. She leaves the room to steam dumplings and he starts He's got a demonic laugh. He's laughing with his gamer friends. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, and the fact that like she's watching this in divorce court, they're playing the clip on like a projector and she's smiling. She's like squealing at delight at even just the sight of her son.
This is wild.
Yeah, and the producers are looking at her like, you know, it's crazy. One of them is a mother and she says, if that were me, I would be smacking my son on the back of the head. Like, I don't know how you go in there and it's like, do you want some dumplings? You want some dumplings? Okay, tell me if you want some dumplings.
My cutie patootie.
Oh, my cutie patootie. You want some dumplings? That's crazy. That's crazy. Stop.
Oh,
Stop. Are you laughing because why I'm laughing?
I think so.
Laughing for different
Sometimes
things.
he does talk to me like that.
Oh, really? Oh,
No, you're always
no.
like, my cutie patootie.
Ew. Y'all.
Okay.
Please.
So this 31-year-old does nothing but play games. And she brings the dumplings and she goes, 뜨거워, it's hot. Be careful, it's hot. And then she leaves the room.
Fuck
And
if he
then-
burns
And then
himself.
she comes back in.
I don't care if he
Wait,
chokes on
did you
it.
buy cigarettes? She's talking to the son's girlfriend. Did you buy cigarettes? Do you have cigarettes? And now the producers are throwing their hands in the air. Does a mother have to buy cigarettes for her unemployed child as well? Like, you got to prepare the food, you got to provide the housing, you got to pay for everything, and you have to go run errands and buy cigarettes. Like, imagine a unemployed 31-year-old and the mom comes into the room. Do you need more vapes? Do you need another e-cig? Like, what do you need? What flavor do you want, honey? Sweetie, what flavor? What should I buy? Everyone looks exhausted watching it. Like, it's so 답답해. Like, I can't watch it anymore. My heart is about to explode. Like, what do you mean? But Mimi defends herself in front of everybody. She says, honestly, just looking at my son, he is precious to me. Like, how could I make him do anything in life? If someone looks at him while he's walking by, I don't want them to look at my son. Because there's a Korean saying, like, if you look at something too much, it wears down something precious. And she says, I don't want him to be worn down. And then
By someone look.
Oh my God, girl, get over yourself, please. Please. I'm dying on the inside slowly. By doing this, you are failing your son in every single way. What is he going to do when you're gone? Who's going to cook for him? Who's going to, give him a place to live under, like a roof to live under? Him and his little girlfriend. They have no life skills. He can't cook for himself. He can't work anymore, doesn't want to, just wants to stay in his little room, play games, can't even apply his own chapstick. Is if the two numbers were switched and this kid was 13, all right, I'm not even gonna think it's like weird or anything because that's kind of like normal for a 13-year-old, blah 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 blah. This is a 31-year-old. I'm not a parent, so I can't say, but like, I get it. Your child is super precious to you, as they should be, all right? But like, there comes a point where you have to let them go so they can grow.
Looking at him?
Yeah. And she says, I wouldn't even trade in my son for like Choi In-sung, very famous Korean actor. Hard eyes. Okay. I wouldn't even trade in my son for G-Dragon. She's like, I would not trade in my son for any celebrity.
Wait, she said I wouldn't trade my son for
obviously, what
G-Dragon?
kind of...
Yeah.
What a statement to make.
Yeah. What a
Right?
crazy ass fucking statement. Okay. So that,
Honey.
yeah.
I wouldn't trade you for G-Dragon.
That's crazy.
You know what? That's actually a very valid statement.
Yeah,
That's actually a very healthy statement. Imagine the mom says, yeah, I would trade my son for G-Dragon.
But I feel like a lot of moms would.
Really? That's kind of
They
wild. That's also very bad. No, like
Yeah.
yeah, but like I know.
But
I
like
know
more
what you-
normal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I wouldn't trade you for G Dragon.
Thank
Anyways,
you. I
carry
wouldn't
on.
trade you for G-Dragon. I don't know how G-Dragon comes up, but you'll see how he comes up. Like, he specifically comes up, okay?
I saw him in the
she even tells
thumbnail,
this
so I
to
thought he
his
was gonna be in
son
here.
while he's sitting there playing games. He's drinking coffee, and it's like in a sippy cup, like a straw. He's got a big-ass straw coming out of his coffee cup. Sipping the coffee, playing his little games. He's got
What
one
is
hand
the
on the
girlfriend
keyboard.
doing?
She's on the bed.
My
Just
God.
on her phone?
Dude,
Yeah,
if
she's
you
just
don't get your
wrapped up in
ass
like
up
a burrito
and work,
blanket, like just swaddling herself on her phone. Then she'll get up, put chapstick on his lips, give him a little kissy kiss on the cheek, and then go back onto the bed, basically doing nothing. He's drinking
so
coffee,
pathetic.
the girlfriend's on the bed, and the son says, "Don't lie, mom, you would trade me." And the girlfriend thinks it's whole funny, okay? She's laughing. No, you should trade him. I'm mad. Like, you should trade him in for Choi Sung. Again, another top celebrity. Not only is he a top celebrity, but he recently bought his parents an apartment in the Lotte Tower, which is like where the Signal Hotel is.
Yeah.
Very expensive building, and he bought it for his parents. So she's saying, like, if you trade him in for this celebrity, he treats his parents so well, you're gonna be treated so well. Like, you're gonna get an apartment in the Lotte Tower, right? No, I wouldn't trade him in for anybody. Even the son's girlfriend is like, I think Choi Sung would be better. And she looks at the mom, and the mom is staring lasers into her. She could cut
dare you
right
say
through her
that.
heart and her soul and her intestines.
No freaking way.
Just kidding, Amma. If you talk like that, I'm never going to cooperate with you again.
Oh, she's mad.
She's mad.
Mad.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're right. Who could compare, right? My boyfriend is the most beautiful boyfriend in the world. But mom,
know
what
if we're
about
seeing the same
G-Dragon?
thing.
What about G-Dragon instead of Choi Sung? I wouldn't even trade my son in for 10 G-Dragons.
10 of him.
The producers in divorce court, they pause the tape, bitch.
Okay, G Dragon, come in.
Yeah.
Come in right now.
Coming right now. The producers, they have a moment of silence. And honestly, the first words uttered are, what even is this conversation? Like, I have never
Right?
witnessed such a conversation. Like, who even has a conversation like this before? And the husband is looking at them. Bobo is like, see, this is what I have to live with. This is not fucking crazy. One of the producers says, honestly, I think the girlfriend is also part of the problem.
She is.
No, but this is truly how I feel. I wouldn't trade my son in for Choi Sung. I wouldn't trade him in for G-Dragon. I wouldn't trade him in for anyone. To me, my son is the best, the most handsome, the most beautiful. I wouldn't trade him in for anyone. I mean, I could trade in my husband for anyone. I would love to trade in my husband. The divorce producers, the show producers, they calm Mimi down and they say, don't get worked up. No one's asking you to trade. So don't worry. No one is suggesting you trade in your son for
No one wants to be in their place anyways. Good Lord. Oh, brother, man. I'm not defending the husband by any means, all right? But if I were in this household, living and hearing this, I would also be drinking 24/7 because good God.
Dragon or Choi Sung, don't worry. You can sleep at night knowing that your son is safe. You're not going to wake up one morning, go into his room, and suddenly it's G-Dragon in there. You're fine. It's okay.
Bro.
And then the other investigator is laughing. The other producer is like, but she did say she'd trade in her husband. No one wants that either. No, she's not going to wake up in bed and it's suddenly Choi Sung, Don't worry. Don't you worry. No one's asking. You're getting very defensive and stressed out. Like, Mimi is working herself into like a cardiac arrest right now. Her cortisol levels are through the roof at the idea that her son would be G-Dragon. And all the producers are like, can you believe this right now? Can you fucking believe this right now? This is crazy. And they say the whole title of this episode is Kangaroo Couple. They say it's a kangaroo mom. So, like, I know in a lot of cultures, they have like
their little
tiger parents.
pouch.
In the newest thing
Kangaroo is good.
in Korea is a kangaroo mom.
That's
Oh
interesting.
My goodness, that is good.
Because you put your baby in your
Little
pouch.
Joey.
And sometimes, and you really called a kangaroo mom when that baby is now a full-size kangaroo. It is a 35-year-old kangaroo in your kangaroo pouch. It's breaking your kangaroo pouch. The 35-year-old has never been out into the world. So now they just act like a baby kangaroo. When you look
can't
at it and
fend
you're
for
like, that's a
themselves.
full-grown adult. Right there. That's crazy. So they're saying not only in her pouch is her husband, but her son and her son's girlfriend. She's a mom with 3 kangaroos in her pouch. So this is crazy. She's got so much going on in the kangaroos. She goes back into the room and she goes, 우리 아들, do you have coffee? Do you have enough coffee? And the son says, I'm going to go buy it later. And there's an
he
empty coffee
leaves the
cup on the gaming
house.
table. She walks back outside onto the living room. She's like really stressed about this. She sits down on the mattress and the son's girlfriend joins her. And he says, our baby just said, I'm dying of thirst.
Wait, he said?
The son's girlfriend says, our baby to the mom.
Oh.
That's like me going to your mom
I'm gonna
and
throw up.
referencing you.
Wait, can you say that in Korean? What's our baby in
우리
Korean?
애기.
우리 애기.
Like imagine I call you our baby to your mom.
Okay, but 우리 애기. Okay, got
우리
it.
애기 is crazy.
Is it?
Oh my
Disgusting.
What
god.
if I start talking to your mom and be like, 우리 애기?
Okay, that's different.
Oh, is that cute or is that cringe?
It's so
I guess
cringe.
in the context. Okay, it works because my parents consider me the maknae, I guess. So like my dad likes to think
She
that
is
I'm
the
still a
youngest,
baby.
but like,
Yeah, and I'm like, that's really crazy that you say that because I am actually worried about you. Like me and my sister are worried about you. And anytime you don't answer the phone for 24 hours, we're like sending out a search party. Like we are now the new parents. My mom, she'll get into like a fender bender sobbing. She can't even control herself. She doesn't know what to do. She's so scared. She's calling me. She's calling you. She's calling my sister. She's calling Andrew. Like, I'm like, why do you guys keep calling me y'all's baby? Like, what the is going on right now?
well, I mean, if you do watch some of their other videos, like vlogs and stuff, you can kind of get the idea why. Like, I called her, she called herself like the youngest, right? But she has like, of her and her sister, she's the youngest, but she has like 2 other brothers, like adopted brothers. So I don't know the whole family dynamic
I
there.
feel offended. Okay. But like, for her to say Uriegi about the boyfriend is kind of crazy. It's
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
Ew.
Okay.
Yeah, and she says, our baby is dying of thirst. And so now they're plotting. The mom is
Well, then
upset.
he dies.
Earlier when I went out, I should have bought some
sorry.
coffee in advance. I should have known. Oh, no, Emma, don't be so hard on yourself.
Not even
No,
water.
you might be okay with it because you're just his girlfriend, but I'm worried that my son can't have his coffee. I can go get his coffee, yeah. And so at that, she
get the fuck
immediately
out of my
grabs a
house.
winter jacket because it's snowing outside, walks to the cafe and buys a whole bag of coffee, like 4 large coffees, iced coffees.
The girlfriend.
Yes, brings them back. They pause the tape and the producers are like flabbergasted. The more these tapes go on, the more they're like, I don't even know what to do at this point. This daughter-in-law is also crazy. Like she's really insane. She brings it and she says, here, I added the syrup. She takes the
My God, look at this side table. What is happening here? Coffee cup. What is this? Like a chip bag, I'm assuming maybe. Other little cups here, other little snacks. Oh my God.
like little straw cover, the paper off the straw cover, puts it directly in front of his face so he doesn't have to even move 25 neck muscles to just slurp in the coffee. I'm gonna put the other 2 in the fridge so you can take them out anytime that you want, okay? He barely even responds. He's like, okay. And then he goes back to gaming and he's like talking to his gamer friends. Oh, the violent thoughts that would come across my mind in
What
those
is
moments.
he saying? Do you remember what he said?
No, gamer words.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My word.
Yeah.
I learned what HP meant, like health points or something.
Bruh.
Yeah, through
What?
this. Yeah.
Through this? Oh, you just learned this today?
Yeah.
What?
Do you know what HP is?
Yes, it's the health.
How do you know what HP is?
Bro, it's the health bar. It's in every single game.
Really?
Yes.
Is it in the games we play?
No.
How would you know?
So at this point, this giant baby is on life support on coffee and steamed dumplings.
Bro, I bet the friends are all like this because there's no way. If I was like unfortunate friends with this guy and I was hearing this conversation through like the microphone, of course, I'm sorry, I don't even care. I would totally make fun of them. I would be like, yo, What is up, man? This is so pathetic sounding.
Are brought to him. And Bobo is like, see, he has to drink coffee. He wakes up. I mean, he's a full-blown caffeine addict. He can't live without coffee. And then
Oh
the
my
producers
God.
stop the clip because they're like,
You got an
you know that
alcohol
dog
addict.
that's like, that's
Yeah.
what they're doing to Bobo
You got a
right
coffee addict.
Because they're like, didn't you just say 2 seconds ago that you don't have a problem with alcohol? And he's looking at them like he has no clue why they're looking at him. Okay. So he's complaining. Son is a caffeine addict. And but of course, you don't have a problem. They keep going. Bobo's explaining, you know, at 4 or 5 in the morning, they don't care. They're screaming. He'll be screaming angrily at his gamer friends at 4 or 5 in the morning. And then all of a sudden he's ha 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 laughing. It's demonic. It's creepy. It feels possessed. I don't like it. He shouts into his headphones. Do you know how stressful that is? That amount of noise? It's just too much. But then we cut to a clip in the evidence tapes where Mimi is outside and she's cooking for her full-grown son and son's girlfriend. And she hears the son just screaming at 3 in the morning. And she just giggles to herself and she goes, oh, 우리 아들 is going wild again.
My cutie patootie is so cute.
My cutie patootie. Cutie patootie strikes again. Yeah. And so she's explaining to the producers, no, it's because our son dreams of becoming a professional gamer. So he's practicing very hard. And every single, you know, my husband just can't understand it because he's way too young, obviously, to understand the e-game sphere. But yeah, in the e-gaming world, you can make a lot of money. Esports. In the esports world, you can make a lot of money, which
Listen, you can, but it probably takes a while. Unless you're like naturally talented at that kind of stuff, you should probably still keep a part-time job and then you can game and build up, you know, your experience, your credit and stuff like that as time goes by. You might get there, you might, but there's so many hundreds of thousands of other people with that same exact dream and they're just never going to get there, unfortunately. So, you know, it's best to keep a part-time job at least, and then you can still have some time to game. But it just doesn't seem like your son is ever going to get there.
like, don't get me wrong. Koreans know how much money you can make in esports. Like, they have a crazy, like,
You
team.
can earn a lot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
What's their team called? I don't know. All I know is Faker is in there. There's a lot of Korean pride, right? Oh, yeah, T1, I think, or something. We talked to, sorry.
Or something.
Or something, yeah.
Something like that.
No, they're literally insane. I know nothing about games. That's my problem. I don't say that. Wait, does that come off condescending? I'm not trying to be condescending. Guys,
No,
gamer guys.
it's
Don't flip
fine.
out. I'm so scared of you guys.
She just learned HP today.
Yeah, I just learned HP today. That's like me saying like the NBA or something. It's not that I don't think that they're 50 million times better than me, smarter than me, more successful than me, and better at everything than me. Okay? I just don't know anything about sports.
Yeah, no, but
Esports,
Stephanie knows
physical
nothing,
sports.
but she's very
Fine.
proud.
Yeah.
I can contest like to that.
Yeah.
She's very proud.
Very proud. Like when they recently won whatever that was that they won. No, hold
Did
on.
you know
That
they
doesn't
won?
matter.
Hold on.
You were proud.
No, hold on. They won something crazy. And then they were on like a magazine spread. And then it was like,
They look cool as hell.
yeah,
Yes.
they were like all wearing suits and shit. And then all the Koreans were like, fuck yeah, Koreans dominating the esports. And then I was like, ooh, Koreans dominating the esports. I don't know what's going on, but I'm proud to be
Alright,
Korean.
you can stop there now.
And then some new Korean news will show up. And I'm like, damn it, why? Why did we have to go and do that next? Okay, can we not just be cool? Okay, but the producers were explaining that they were talking to T1 and they were talking to Faker actually. And they had interviewed him before. And he said, a lot of people are trying to use theirs. They're not saying this, but I'm sure like the producers brought it up. Like I'm sure now that esports is gaining a lot of attention, there's a high possibility of gaining a lot of financial and fame from being a successful esports player. Now people are using that. No, ma, I'm just gonna game because I'm gonna make millions of dollars one day. It's like now an excuse to game, right? And so Faker and the other teammates were saying, to be a professional level gamer, at the very least, you need to be the best in your region. So like major city and major region, because they
And
go
that
by
takes
regions, by
a
middle
bit.
school.
Damn.
Yeah.
So if you're not
Damn.
that, like, I mean, 31, which is how old Mimi's son is, most professional esports players, unless they're exceptional, they're usually retired by that point.
Exactly. I was gonna say I don't think I said it earlier on because I didn't know how to word it, but I'm glad she brought it up. I'm like, you can be a very successful gamer at any age, sure, but you're gonna find majority of them are gonna be much younger than 31. So I don't think you're ever gonna get there, dude. Get your ass up.
Get your fucking ass up and work.
우리
우리 아들?
아들
Yeah, 우리 아들.
is different.
우리 아들 is different, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
different.
Uria is different. Yeah, that's exactly what Mimi says. So they tell that straight up to Mimi, and her lips go thin. And she says, I know not everyone can become one. I know that. But our son is really good at games. He was one of the best in our, Faker said the region. So think like Seoul and surrounding
Right.
areas.
So
Yeah.
what is he?
Yeah, she said in our cul-de-sac, basically. She said in this specific region, in this area, in this city. It's literally like in our neighborhood. He was actually, since he was young,
Bro, in this house, he's been killing that.
he's actually the number one in this house. So he did it since he was young. He's been playing games. And so Bobo is sitting there so exacerbated, like, what's with these young people? Anyone can see and take one look that a 31-year-old is not going to become a professional gamer. Like, please think and say stuff that makes sense. And then Bobo, he in the evidence tapes, I don't know why he randomly decides that he's also the cleanliest person in the house. He gets up from his bed, grabs a roll of duct tape, and starts duct taping the son's girlfriend's long ass hairs from everywhere.
Or like picking up hair from
The floor.
God.
And he says, she's so dirty too. And every time
I was thinking he got duct tape, went up to the daughter and duct taped her mouth. And she said hair, and I was like, wait, what? You put duct tape on her hair? But no, hair strands that are all
walk
over
into
the
their
house.
room, it smells dingy. It
She's
smells
shedding.
disgusting. It smells like cigarette smoke. It's just horrendous. And then she leaves her hair everywhere in the restroom. It's just a mess.
Listen,
look
I
at
shed
how
a
much
lot
hair
too, but
is
I
sticking
clean
to
it
my
up.
tape. One time I told her, you lose all your hair. You got to do something about it. You got to pick up your hair from isn't this dirty? And she said, so what?
So what?
Yeah, and then he's explaining this, and everyone turns off the thing, and they look at Mimi, and she goes, "니나 잘해, 니나 잘해," which means worry about yourself. Worry about yourself, bitch. Don't be worrying about my son and my son's girlfriend. Worry about yourself. These are some crazy Korean words. I just want to say that, okay? And she explains, look, my kids are not like other kids. She's grouping in her son's girlfriend as well. My kids don't go out. They don't get drunk. Like you, Bobo. They don't do any of that. They don't cause trouble. They don't like to do drugs. They're just gentle. They like to stay home. From my perspective, looking at most 30-year-olds these days, I don't understand why my husband is complaining about them. They're good kids.
Huh?
Kids. They're good kids.
Yeah.
The producers are asking if maybe that's why that they're not doing anything. What do you mean? Is this why they're not successful? Because you baby them so much. Then we cut back to the evidence tapes and we see the son's girlfriend asking the mom, 엄마, do you have 10,000원?
What's that?
Do you have $10?
Oh.
Whoa. And she says, I don't know how much is in my wallet right now. She grabs her wallet, opens it up again, like how we would treat Sophie and Mia, except they're 5. Okay, they're 3 and 4. But these people are 31, 33. She grabs her wallet and she's scrolling through how much money she has. And she says, oh, I didn't get much cash from the bank. I only have $5. She starts stomping on the floor. Oh, it's not enough. This is the son's girlfriend. They pause the tape and the producers are speechless once more. What is happening? How
Nah,
can
I'm
she
asking one of the
act
neighbors
like
to run me
that?
over.
And then they look at each other and they say, you know what the crazy thing is? Your son's girlfriend would probably kill it in the job market. The kind of nerves that she has, the balls of steel, the way she goes against societal norms to get what she wants, the way that she can blatantly ask for money, she could kill it in sales.
They are saying that?
Yeah, if she were to work, she'd be making good money.
Yeah.
I can't do that. If I'm in sales, I'm I don't want to push them on this decision. She's give me money. You need this. Give me the money right now. Whoa, this is crazy. They say she needs to work. She would do really well. The producers ask, are you going to live with your son forever? And she says, for as long as they want to. It seems like they want to forever because they're benefiting from it. What if they decide that they want to be independent and they get married? You're going to live with them even when they're married, which it's like a big thing. You go off once you're married, right? And she says, no, I would buy them a house. How would you buy them a house? You don't have money. And she says, by any means possible, I would try to find a way and I would buy them a house. And now the husband is just rolling his eyes. And the producers are like, I can understand why you're upset because you're banking on her to keep you alive, but she's spending all of her money on keeping the son and the son's girlfriend alive. So we get it, It's
like you're annoyed, but you're not any better, bro.
And Bob was looking at them like, what the fuck? I thought you guys were on my side. What is happening right now? What the fork is happening? He's just speechless. Everybody's speechless. Even when they go to the market, the wife,
no one's acting
Mimi,
their age
she knocks
here.
on the door, and this is in the husband's evidence tape. She's like, knock, knock. They open the door, and she's like, do you guys need anything from the market? The son's girlfriend says, Oma, can you buy some caca? He's laughing because he knows what caca is. Caca is truly what infants and toddlers refer to as snackies. So in the English version, it would be snackies or yum-yums. She is 33 years grown, and she says, Mommy, can you buy some snackies while you're at the market? So then Bobo is standing like, what the hell did she just say? They go to the market. They don't have money. They're buying fruits. All the fruits that Uriader likes. Fruits are so expensive in Korea, especially strawberries.
Oh, yeah. Fruit is basically lobster covered in gold.
Yes. And they're getting strawberries that have its own bed, that have its own seat. You know what I mean?
That is crazy.
Yeah. Like they got their own little cushions. Each strawberry has its own seating arrangement. She's grabbing boxes of those. And he's looking at her like, really? You're going to buy those? And she says, 우리 아들 딸기 먹어야지. Our son needs to eat some 딸기. Strawberry. Yeah. Yeah, and so Bobo's looking at this like, this is absolutely ridiculous. And the producers are genuinely asking Mimi, why don't you let your son get a job? Like, what's the problem with a job? Why don't you want him to have a job? And she says, well, there's not many.
Is she not letting him get a job? She doesn't want him to get a job? Or does he not want to get a job? Because he's basically just leeching off of his mom. Or both. Both can be true.
Jobs in the area that we live in. Like, we don't live in Seoul. Okay, they live kind of outside of Seoul, but they can take a bus to Seoul. So they're explaining a lot of people don't live in Seoul and they work in Seoul. Like, you just take a bus, you take a train to Seoul. There's buses from your area to Seoul. It's not that hard. And she explains, well, it's because we actually didn't live here for a really long time, so we don't really know exactly how the buses work.
You learn. You learn.
But you could just teach your son how to use the bus so that he could commute to work. And she explains, well, how would I explain it to him when I don't know how the buses work? Like, the buses are really complicated. So they're saying, your son is 31 years old. He should be teaching you how the buses work. He knows how the buses work. He can commute to work. And she's explaining, no. But like in my family, I think we all just kind of we raise our kids like this. Like my siblings, they're all the same. We raise our kids exactly like this. Okay, so your siblings' children also don't work? I mean, no, because they're in middle school right now. And so you're saying you treat your 31-year-old son like your siblings treat their middle school age children. Of course, you don't want your middle school kid to take the bus all the way to the big city by themselves, but your son is 31 years old. Yeah, but that's just how we just raised our kids in our family.
You're so pathetic.
This is
I
crazy.
can't.
She's in denial, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so like what I said in the beginning, I know the husband is clearly at fault also, but the wife seems like she's a bit more at fault. I'm bringing that back.
One is getting so 답답해. They're saying things like 통화가 안 돼. Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
No conversation can be had. No communication can be done. It doesn't make sense. So she has no plan when the inheritance runs out. They're just she thought about maybe opening up an unmanned coffee shop. So in Korea, they have these unmanned stores where you don't have to work in there. Everything is done by CCTV and you have to pay. You go in and it's like a store, but you have to pay before you go out and then they'll find you if you don't pay. And the producers are asking, do you know anything about running a coffee shop? Do you know the #1 business that opens and closes the most in our country? Cafes. She said, I didn't know that. And they're like, well, if you didn't know that, how are you going to open up a cafe? You're going to fail. You can't just say, I didn't know that.
But that's just how it's run in her family.
Yeah, exactly. That's just how her siblings do it.
Yeah.
You know, and if anything, the energy of her uri ader is going to get her through the hard times. So it's going to be okay. They could just put a picture of uri ader on the front instead of G-Dragon and be like, uri ader visits this cafe. You know how they have the celebrity signatures?
Yes.
It's just uri ader
Right.
signature.
Exactly.
Yeah. She could just do that, you know? People would be
Burn the
flocking
place
to
down.
the store for sure.
Number one player in the house.
Exactly. And the husband has a few more clips that I'm going to sum it up. It's basically the same things that happen over and over again. It's anything for the son. So he invites his niece over, who he does have this kind of lore backstory of how he drinks a lot because his brother passed away in an accident. And it was like a very sudden and abrupt death. His daughter, which is his niece that's now coming to visit, was living with him and their mother for the longest time. So she's almost
His
kind of...
daughter is his. Oh, the brother's daughter.
Yeah,
I see.
is kind of almost his daughter, but he also feels like he's failed her in so many ways. He doesn't live up to whom his brother could have been. And now he's got all these problems to deal with, the loss of, and then he lost his mom. And it's just been a spiraling deep dark hole. He lost his brother, lost his mom, and then he got into a work accident. He can't work in construction anymore. He used to do scaffolding. He took a lot of pride in his work, and now all of that's gone. They won't even pay him any insurance money for the accident. He just can't work. He can't do anything. He's bored all day. He has no goals, nothing driving him towards anything. Anytime he talks to Mimi, she's screaming at him. Anytime he goes out, he's getting screamed at by not only the son, but also the son's girlfriend. So for example, the niece came over one day, and this was really sad. He waited all day for the niece to come over, even in the middle of the day. And like, this makes me want to go visit people more often. Like, go visit people, especially like grandparents. I don't know, I'm gonna cry. In the middle of the day, Mimi comes in and is like, are you gonna eat? And he's like, no, what time is it? No, I'm gonna wait for my niece to come. I'm gonna wait for my niece. It was really sad. He's just like all day, oh, I gotta wait for my niece to do this. Oh, I'm gonna wait for my niece to do this. So then she finally comes. They sit down and they're grilling pork belly and they're eating on the floor. And he's like grilling the meat, he's cutting it. And the son's girlfriend is yelling at him, like, can you not cut it so big? Like, our baby can't eat it when you cut it so big.
Oh my fucking God. Both of you can choke. Both of you can choke and die. Literally. Who do you think you're raising your voice and talking disrespectfully at that? All right? Cut it yourself if it's too big. Are you so incapable? Oh my God. When I said I like really messy shows, this is not the type of messy I was talking about. I wanted more like drama, more theatrics, you know, but this is just so irritating to another level. Nah, this could not be me. I'm dragging her out by the hair, that long ass hair. All right. I'm sweeping the floor with her hair.
The son, she's talking about the son, the 31-year-old son can't eat the pork belly slices. And he's like, what? Then you cut it yourself once I give it to you on your plate. And then she goes, why can't you just cut it smaller? If you're already cutting it, just cut it smaller. Mimi takes the son's girlfriend's side and starts screaming at her husband in front of his niece, saying, like, why are you doing something you never do? Like, stop acting like you cut meat around here. You never do stuff like this. And suddenly your niece comes and you want to act like you're this like, oh, provider. Like, stop cutting the meat if you're not the meat cutter. Yeah.
Dang. How old is the niece?
Around the same age as the son's girlfriend.
Oh, nah, I'm speaking up. I am speaking
Yeah,
up.
the niece is just like shocked. And she's trying to explain like, well, if he wants it smaller, it's very easy for him to cut it himself. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And the son's girlfriend gets so upset. She gets up in the middle of the dinner and walks away, slams the door
Good.
shut in the room.
Leave. Bye.
Being pissed at the niece.
Yeah.
Bye.
And then the son leaves. He comes back out. He's looking for Advil because the son's girlfriend's head hurts. Bro, my head hurts. The
My head
netizens are all
hurts too.
commenting, my fucking brain hurts from watching this family. They say the crazy thing is, usually like you hear in Korea horror stories of like dads predominantly dealing with alcoholism, and then they turn into a different person when they're drunk, and like
More
perhaps
aggressive
it's
and stuff.
borderline
Yeah.
abusive, sometimes just like
Right.
downright abusive, right? So you hear those stories. And so a lot of the times what netizens were trying to say, I'm just giving like cultural context for why they're saying stuff like this. They're saying typically it's the person who's drinking who's the problem in the family. Like their drinking is the problem, and therefore they are the problem in that moment, in that present moment. But they're saying in this family, he's like the most normal one. Like, this is crazy.
I was saying, like, if I was in his position and I was hearing all this stuff, and I would be drinking 24/7 also, because I cannot be sober in this household. I would not be in this household to begin with. Listen, I know he's had a tough life. He lost his brother very abruptly, such a horrible way. Lost his father or his mother, was it? So he's taken some hardships naturally, as people do in life. That stuff is really hard. But it seems like his niece, who he then considers his daughter, is like something that really makes him a better person. So I don't know. I don't know if I heard that wrong, if he can't work because he's just dealing with a lot personally, or if he's maybe reaching an age where he just can't get a lot of jobs. But having somebody like that in your life that makes you want to be a better person is really encouraging to, take control over your life again and be better. Staying in a house like this where everyone is just like degrading you, constantly yelling at you and stuff, like I said, he has his own problems as well in this house. But like I keep saying, like, it seems like Mimi, was that her name again, is more of that problem. So it's hard to blossom in that type of household, but like, if he can hold on to that thing that gives him hope, which would be his niece or his daughter, then I would hold on to it so strongly and work to get out of this household.
This is crazy. Everybody else is so much more toxic, so much more abusive. Not saying that if you struggle with an addiction, you're toxic and abusive, but I think
Sure.
a lot of people have dealt with fathers who drink and then get toxic. So they're saying this is fucking crazy. So she goes off. He brings headache medication. The husband is so confused, and he's also upset that his wife is not taking his side. So then he goes into the room. He's upset, and now the niece leaves because it's awkward. She doesn't know what to do,
Right.
and it's just Mimi in the living room. And then eventually the son's girlfriend comes out, and they start whisper shit talking the husband.
Oh my God.
So the wife is shit talking her husband with her son's girlfriend.
This gotta be a divorce, right?
Yeah.
Like there's
Yes,
no okay.
please.
He comes out and she's like, what do you want now? She's like screaming at him, and he's like, what is wrong with you? Like, why are you shit talking me with her? She's not even
And he only wants a 50% divorce. He's like, oh, I want a divorce, but like 50%. Not 500%, bro. I also have divorce papers ready and filled out on the
her
go.
daughter-in-law. She's technically a stranger to the family. What's wrong with you? And that's pretty much most of their tapes. So end of the husband's evidence tapes. And the producers are really distraught by this. Like, this is almost, I don't know, this is pretty bad. This seems like it's as bad as it's going to get. And they ask Mimi, did you even scold your son's girlfriend about what happened just now with the whole barbecue thing of like why he was cutting the meat? Like, that's a very
she's on
rude
her
way to
side.
talk to an elder, let alone your boyfriend's stepdad. And she's like, yeah, of course I scolded her. They play the tapes. She never scolded her. All she did was talk the husband. And she's in such denial. She refuses to listen to anything that is negative about her son or her son's girlfriend. It's the strangest thing in the entire world. This whole family is on the brink of a catastrophe. That is what the producers say. Like, we don't know what's gonna happen. The kids are giant babies. Everybody's a giant baby. Nothing's going right. So what do? The worst part is, and this is the part that the celebrity producer was getting upset about, Mimi discloses that her son had a virus as a kid and he had to go into surgery. 80% of one of his lungs is unusable, but she still buys him cigarettes.
Oh
He
my
should
God.
not be smoking. So they ask, why are you buying him cigarettes? And she says, because he's going to buy the cigarettes regardless of if I buy the cigarettes. And I don't want him to go out in the snow and slip and fall to go to the store.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah. So every
crazy.
single person in that courtroom is mouths agape. The other couples
me.
that everyone, the K netizens, were dogging on 2 episodes ago, K netizens are apologizing. They're like, we take that back. You're actually pretty healthy. Like, you're actually fine. Like, this is insane to me right now. But for some reason, somehow, the court decides if both of them want to put in the work, they are going to admit them into the divorce camp.
Oh my goodness.
No, they need more than divorce camp. They need something much more, something more mental, some psychiatrists. I don't know what they need. They need something more serious than divorce camp.
Really?
The verdict is it seems like they still have some love for each other.
Oh.
They can save
I don't
each
see the
other
love.
if they go to divorce camp. You know what I
don't
think?
see the love.
They see love?
You know what I think?
Uh-huh.
I think they want some crazy moments in divorce
Yeah,
camp.
I think they see an opportunity and they took it.
Exactly. So they say,
And
so
that's
with that,
showbiz,
court
baby.
is adjourned. And now they are headed to divorce camp with the 2 other couples that are also going to divorce camp. Let me know if you want that. Okay, they gave there's a small section where they go to divorce camp, but this is ongoing right now. The next episode is going to come out in like the next few weeks. So please let me know if you want this, because all Korean netizens can talk about is this family from divorce camp, and they need to know what happens in divorce camp, because everybody is blown away that they're even going to divorce camp.
Yeah.
Like this at right here, divorce babes. Like this is crazy.
Exactly. I'm dying. She said that because, like, earlier on when they were reaching a verdict, I was gonna pause and be like, just as Adele said,
Divorce, babe, divorce.
and then she just did that right now
Both
in
of you
that
guys are
accent.
crazy. Some people, some K netizens were commenting, actually, they can never get a divorce. Don't ever let either of these people out into the single world. Other people are saying, we don't need just divorce camp. We need the kids in the camp.
Yes.
The son's
Yes.
girlfriend, people are
Yes.
flabbergasted at the son's girlfriend. They say she's actually the craziest of them all. I
got some
need
fucking
to
nerves.
look inside her brain. She's not right. Something's not right up there. So if you guys want part 2 of this, if you guys want me to take you to divorce camp and see the horrors that unfold
Take us
there,
to divorce
let me
camp.
know in the comments. And with that, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.
With these types of shows, just as like that other Megan Moon also was talking about a different couple, I want to watch types of shows like these because of the mess. It's so messy, it's dramatic, it's theatrical. But this is a whole different type of mess and chaotic that I am losing brain cells just listening to this. I thought she said that G-Dragon's gonna come into play later. I was like, oh, okay. So I was like waiting for that part, but he never came in later. I don't know what I was expecting, but he was just briefly mentioned. I wouldn't trade my son for G-Dragon. I'm sure G-Dragon doesn't want to be in his place either. I'm sure he'd pay all of his earnings to not be in that place. Like, everyone is at fault here. Everybody, okay? Nobody's acting their age. Nobody has a job. I know the husband is like Bobo. He has his own problems, of course. Drinking 24/7, drinking soju more than water is a huge problem. You've been to the hospital a few times. But he, in this household, is like the least problematic. And I would say maybe the son. And then I would say, I don't know who is worse, whether Mimi or that crazy bitch. Everyone in this show is crazy. They need more than divorce camp, okay? They need another type of professional, mental professional. You can't even really say, I know I kept saying that she's like leeching off of the parents and stuff, but maybe that might still be the case. It's not like they're earning anything. I don't know how much longer they're going to be able to live off of the grandfather's, was it inheritance or like what they inherited from him? But it seems like the money is rapidly coming to an end. They have no plan afterwards. You can't really fully say that the girlfriend is like playing a long game because they're not even married, her and the son. It's not like she can gain the rest of the money afterwards. She's just as pathetic as the rest of them. Like, if I was the niece and I was like with my uncle, like spending some quality time, and I like witnessed this whole interaction, this conversation, the disrespect. No, your long hair will be on the ground, on the concrete. You will be bald by the end of it. There is no way. This was 2 months ago. I don't think she made a second part because she's so busy with these other shows that keep coming out. These other shows are much more on the messy, dramatic, theatrical side. But with the amount of people I have seen and heard talking about this show, I did come to a conclusion that it was very popular. So I wonder if she would at some point make another um part two of more of the inside divorce camp of this family. So these hosts are messy, all right? This is the type of mess I wanted. They're like, we're sending you guys to divorce camp. No, there is no working around to fix with this relationship. There is no relationship here. But as irritating as this was to watch, it was still entertaining. And it was a mess. That's what it was for sure. Anyways, more on a serious note, hope you guys stay safe out there. I'm not going to delve too deep into it. I'm sure you guys read the news and everything. It is a whole shit show, even bigger of a shit show than this family. I can't even recount all the things that is going on recently. It's just too much. I don't even have to search for these articles. Like, it just appears. Everyone talks about them naturally, as they should. And then my phone is just sending me notifications of these things. Like, if I were to read the top three notifications right now, trending story for you. Supreme Court clears Trump to send migrants to South Sudan. Trending story for you. Attention, U.S. citizens. Yes, you can now be deported. Trending story for you. Are deportees being thrown into the sea on U.S. flights? These are just three that I got this morning. There's going to be a whole lot more. So all this stuff really came out like yesterday for me. So it was not having a good time yesterday. I'm glad that this type of video can work as some form of distraction, at least temporarily. Yeah, I hope you guys stay safe out there. Bit of a lighter note, take care of yourselves, drink water. Don't be drinking soju 24/7. Drink some water. See you guys on the other video. I think this is the most recent one that she had released. This is the one that I have yet to see. She has another Cinnamon Toast Crunch ad. Oh wait, no, never mind. It's just a throwback. 45 idols and influencers join live acting show. Audience feels bad for the judges. Okay. I'll get to this one some other day. I'll see you guys then.